Yes, it's 6 o'clock and it's showtime. Of course. Yes, and look at that. Wendy Lou is on time. Joe is in town. Strawberry Rain. While we're waiting for everybody to show up, I thought I would do an update, though, on the Timothy Cunningham case. Not to toot my own horn, but I was right the entire time. There it is. The death of Atlanta researcher, whose body was pulled from the Chattanooga River, has been ruled a suicide by drowning. Where have I heard that before? The Fulton County Medical Examiner said Tuesday Timothy Cunningham, an epidemiologist with the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, was reported missing February 14th, Valentine's Day, from his northwest Atlanta home. Cunningham's parents... See, this is what I remember saying to everybody. Okay, hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. I remember telling people that what the parents told investigators is really the key to the whole case. And Cunningham's parents told investigators their son had not been diagnosed with depression, but did have mood swings. That's what they're saying, according to documents released by medical examiner's office. His parents also questioned whether he could have given some type of drug and changed his behavior in the days before the disappearance. His parents and sisters told investigators that in phone calls and text messages with Cunningham shortly before he disappeared, they noticed a difference in his tone. And they did say they don't know how he got in the water, so that'll keep the conspiracy alive forever. Truth Sleuth sent me this link. Elizabeth, that's her name. And basically it says exactly what we said most of the time. I mean, there's different theories that popped around, but the original theory was that he killed himself and he walked away and did it. And that's exactly what they determined happened, based on all the evidence that they do have. There's no foul play, nothing. All right, so I thought I'd give you that update while we're waiting for people to show up, instead of just playing a countdown of 5 minutes, which I heard was absolutely horrendous. Don't you love this beginning? Listen to that. Kind of like a creepy investigative sound. I like it. Hello, Lynette. M22, the sniper rifle. Betty, beautiful surprise. Megan Johnson. Yeah. So look at that, we're up to 13,717 subscribers. But unfortunately, every time I do a live, the number drops down a little bit. Why? I do not know the answer to that question. So we're just waiting around here for people to show up. Give them a couple minutes. But what I thought we would do is build a basically like a flow chart with the different people. Yes, don't forget to smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you like my videos, share them with other people. I guess people, what else would you share them with? Aliens? I don't know. So we could start off with Rachael kind of in the middle, maybe even just like, yeah, I think it's all right in the middle there. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody didn't like the countdown. I didn't ask everybody else, but as long as I'm not talking about the main thing, I guess, for a few minutes, it doesn't hurt, right? It's already 6:06. Yeah. I could do my fish videos when I do the announcement for the later one, or anything, I guess. Yeah. So, this story of Rachael DelTondo, D-E-L, I don't know if you guys even looked it up, D-E-L-T-O-N-D-O. She's 33 years old. In 2016, let me see if I got the exact date of that. I think I got I had this whole list over here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, at 1:52 a.m. in the morning, so that's really early. On February 6th, 2016, police found her in a car with Sheldon, Dex his last name, I have it. Sheldon Jeter. Sheldon Jeter Jr. He's actually a good athlete. I stumbled upon a page where he is I think he's a quarterback, actually, and pretty talented. So the Aliquippa, I think is what it was. Did we come up with that? Aliquippa police encounter DelTondo and the 17-year-old high school student, football and basketball star, Sheldon Jeter Jr. in a car. And it was parked with the engine off on the grounds of the old Aliquippa Hospital. I actually found that on Google Earth. I'll have to open up Google Earth again here, though. It's actually like an abandoned lot. Yeah, you can share it. I mean, the more people that watch this, the better, because then we can actually figure. There's some parts that don't make a lot of sense. Be nice to have that stuff figured out. Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. That's not where I wanted to go. Put some of them, the yellow pins in the wrong folder. Yeah, so right here, look at this is where the police found them. See how I think this used to be a hospital? But it's not anymore. So I think Google Earth goes to right here. So let's take a look at it. Yeah. So maybe this is some kind of a miniature hospital or something. But they were in this parking lot at 1:52 a.m. and the windows were fogged up. And that's where the police came upon them. Now, what's interesting, though, is, well, there's so many of these parts that are interwoven. It's amazing because the two officers that found them, one of the officers has a daughter, and that's Kenneth Watkins. He's the police sergeant. And his daughter is the friend she was driving around with the night she got killed. Right? And apparently one of the two officers was going to take in Sheldon Jeter, as the report said that his mom wasn't a very good mother, so they were just going to take him in. So which officer was that? Was Kenneth Watkins going to actually take him in? You see how crazy this is all getting? Here, I'll turn down the music a little bit. Put it down to there. What can't you see? People are saying you can't see. Oh. Oh, you couldn't see Google Earth? Oh, sorry. Jeez, what a... Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, I have two monitors, and I had it on the one that doesn't show it. Okay. All right, so I'll do it again. Since this is just this isn't a real YouTube video or anything. All right, so you've got DelTondo's parents lived here, and that's where I think she lived with their parents. They live right in this house right there. What's interesting is Rashawn Bolton, the guy that she's dating, at one point lived right there, which is literally right there. And Rashawn Bolton is the older brother of Sheldon Jeter Jr. And I guess there's a third brother. The third brother's name is... What the hell? I had it written down. I got it in my notes over here. I've got so many notes, though, now that Tyree Jeter. All right. So that's the person. Tyree is 25, and he is the person that also went out that night with the daughter of the police sergeant and Rachael to go get frozen custard, of all things. Who in the hell even eats that stuff? All right. But let me go back to Google Earth. All right. So right in this parking lot, it looks like you can tell there used to be something here just by looking at Google Earth. Street view does go right to the corner here, so I'll put it right there. And there you have it. So in this parking lot somewhere, they were parked, the windows steamed up, the cops pulled up, and like I said, the officer, one of the officers, who's now a police sergeant, maybe he was even a sergeant at the time, his daughter is the friend that was with Rachael the night she was killed. I mean, don't you think this is all just a little bizarre so far? I mean, it just gets worse, actually. And as I was waiting to go on live here, another article came out, and they've issued search warrants for Sheldon Jeter Jr., the police sergeant's daughter, and I actually have her name. Let's see, Lauren Watkins. And let's see, so that's those two. And Rachael, their Facebook pages. They want to have all the communications between those three. So is this some sort of perhaps a love triangle angle? See, what I was saying earlier is that it seemed like Sheldon was actually dating both women, on and off relationship from time to time. And what if the daughter of the police sergeant found that out? Does she have access to a 9mm? So they dropped her off, and then let's say she came back just a little while later, maybe just a minute later, and maybe dropped Tyree off just down the street and then came back. I don't know. I mean, you could throw something like that out there. I mean, these are just speculation based off of facts that are in the case. I did read in a document that Sheldon was having a relationship with both of them, or was involved with both of them at certain times, more than just friends. Are you guys still there? Am I like frozen? I don't see anybody typing. Usually you guys are just type. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's only one message a minute. That's like the slowest. Okay, I've never seen people actually listening. That's amazing. Usually talking about dogs and pets and hairdos, all kinds of. I was just shocked. I think that's pretty funny. Come on, that's good stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I am here. There's so many notes. All right. Here's the police report when they finally wrote it. So here's the thing, is the police didn't file a report when this happened. And then apparently word got out that this event occurred, so the police scrambled and then wrote a police report like a year later. And then after it was created, somebody requested the report, but the police gave out all kinds of confidential information, and they weren't supposed to do that. So the police department was investigated for giving out, I guess it would, abuse of information, something like that. And they said that the investigation was over, but one website says that they've actually talked to people who have recently been interviewed about that, so it was ongoing. So I'm kind of wondering if Rachel's, undercover work might be still related to that initial, abuse of information investigation. Although it sounds like she was helping out with corruption, because they actually there's this one news outlet that really seems to have a lot of good information. They're called the Beaver Countian. BeaverCountian.com. They have all kinds of information. All right, but the wording on the police report, I actually have it right here. It says, "As I approached the driver's side of the vehicle, I noticed that the windows were steamed over and the engine was not running. I again asked Rachael DelTondo what she was doing parked where..." This is part of it, obviously, because there's an again there. DelTondo, what she was doing parked where she was with the 17-year-old, which they actually have it in brackets, so they must have had his name there, Sheldon. Yeah, Sheldon. Okay. In a car. DelTondo again stated that she was there just talking with the teenager, and that he was once a student of hers. That turned out not to be true. I asked DelTondo if she was me, what would she think was going on at this time of the morning with a vehicle parked where she was parked. Apparently his seat was all the way back, but they weren't on top of each other. So they gave him a break, apparently. DelTondo replied that she understands and that she didn't want her fiancé to know that she was here parked because he would get mad. Well, yeah, I think any, fiancé might get mad at something like that. I told DelTondo that I did not know who her fiancé was, at which she stated Frank. Oh, wow, that was kind of dumb. Don't tell him, but here's his name. I advised DelTondo that I know a lot of Franks. at which she then advised that her fiancé was Frank Trappa. DelTondo continued to maintain that she was called by the teenager, Sheldon, and that he was upset and needed someone to talk to. Upon contact and speaking with Sheldon, he advised that he was just hanging out and that he and DelTondo are friends. DelTondo was advised that there was better places to just talk with a former student, and that I would hope that I wouldn't find her parked anywhere else in Alaquipa or with former students at such a late hour just talking. DelTondo did get in her vehicle and left the area. Yeah, I mean, you guys bought that? Wow. That's amazing. So the police officers actually bought that stuff. Oh, yeah. You know, it's 1:52 in the morning. We're just hanging out. He had some problems. Yeah, but don't tell my fiance. Well, I don't know your fiance. Well, his name's Frank. Well, then why'd you tell me his name if you didn't want me to mention it to anybody? Yes. Now, one of the issues that I do not know at this point is, okay, so Frank and her, they dated for like 8 years or so, right? But in February of 2017, Rachel was on a news broadcast because she wasn't able to get her money back for her wedding dress. Okay, that's February 2017. But then articles state that that the wedding was called off in October 2017. So why was she getting her money back for her wedding dress in February? So something's not right on some of these articles. And then the lawyer said, yeah, they called out the wedding almost 2 years ago. And that makes more sense. You know, like maybe a couple months after the February incident or something like that. Now the thing is there was a private citizen that got the police report information when the police finally wrote it. You know, they had to write it so that it was on record because somebody found out that the incident happened. So you kind of wonder who told. It was either Rachel or Sheldon. I guess it could have been the other officer, but why would either of the officers mention, oh yeah, there was this incident, but we didn't make a report? So somehow somebody found out about it, and they actually had to write the report. And when the report was written, I guess somebody found out that it was written, and then they requested it, and then they got it, but they were given too much information, and then that person contacted Rachel's work, and then she got suspended. And the police believe it was a vendetta of some sort. So it would be great to know who was it that requested that information. Yeah, isn't that dumb? He didn't have to say what his name was. Yeah, but she didn't even have to say his name was Frank or anything. I'm talking to people in the chat. M22 says, maybe Frank is super popular. Yeah, anyway, yeah, they gave him a pass. They didn't notice anything. I think it's pretty obvious. All the police reports now say that they were intimate together. All right. And it also says that the daughter of the police sergeant also knows something, or was involved with Sheldon more than just a friend. So now you have two girls driving around with Tyree Jeter, Sheldon's brother. But both of those girls have also been with Sheldon at some point. Now Rachel is dating the oldest brother. And the oldest brother actually is this guy right here. Rashawn Bolton. He has a different last name, so probably a half brother, I would think. This guy right here. So that's the oldest brother. This is Sheldon right here. I don't have a picture of Tyree. This guy right here is Frank. This is Sergeant Watkins. This is Sheldon's mother. All right. Yeah, so it sounded like the friend, whose name is Lauren Watkins, picked up Rachel at her house that night, and then they drove over to Circle K, which is just right there. So this is Rachel's home. It's their parents' house. This is the same house that you see in the news articles, this one right here. All right, then they drove this way, went down to Circle K. All right, got whatever they got there. And then I think they went back to her house again. Then they drove all the way over to, let's see. That's right, this is the police chief's house. I have the whole timeline written down on that detailed information. Let's see. Okay, according to the search warrant affidavit, DelTondo and her friend went to Circle K convenience store, then visited a friend before DelTondo returned to her parents' home to change her clothes. So I don't know who the friend was that they went to visit. Went to Circle K convenience, then visited a friend before. So it's a different friend. So when it says DelTondo and her friend, that's going to be... man, I have to keep clicking around to get the names because they're not ingrained in my head from constant use. Lauren. So what I should do is just put Lauren on the article instead of having to find it. All right. So we can start right here. DelTondo and her friend Lauren went to Circle K convenience store. So they went like this, drove down this direction, went to Circle K. Then visited a friend, and we don't know where that is. Then they returned to DelTondo's house right here again. Returned to her home to change her clothes at 9:20. The two women left in Watkins' car and picked up Tyree Jeter, the brother of Sheldon. Now I think Tyree, there's so many different homes that they're listed and living in. It's pretty amazing. Let's see, maybe over in this area. Yeah, so it looks like Sheldon Jeter Sr. lived there. I don't even know why I have Delcia Crum Flanagan in there. I think that's a relative. Yeah, so these are all addresses that were listed for Rashawn Bolton, the brother. Actually, I think this might be the mother right here. Delcia Crum Flanagan. That's right, that's who this is. She lived right here. In one of these homes right there. That's right. So I'm guessing that he lived with her right there, but to be honest, I don't know where Sheldon Jr. was living. Sheldon Jeter Jr. was living. And then it says, the three drove to Hank's Frozen Custard. All right, so I actually have that location. All right, so let's just say it kind of looks like this is the highway they would have driven on right there. And you get over to Frank's Frozen Custard. I don't know why anybody would eat that, but have you ever had frozen custard? Well, I hate custard, so. Whoa, look at this. Man, something crazy was happening right there. Must be aliens. Look at that. Ooh, man. So there it is, Frank's Frozen Custard. So they went there. At 2:07, now let's see. The three drove to Hank's Frozen Custard in New Brighton to get ice cream. At 10:07, the Tyree had a message from his brother, which read, "Is y'all there already?" And then Tyree responded, "Yeah," at 10:15. And then Sheldon texted Tyree, I got left, huh?" with 6 smiley faces after that. And then at 10:19, Sheldon texted Tyree again, "Who all with you?" And again, Tyree doesn't respond. Then at 10:30, Sheldon texted again, "Hank's closed." So that means he's like almost stalking. Like wait, why are Hank's closed? How could you guys have just got there? What's going on? What's going on? So he's angry. He's angry about something. After about an hour, the friend drove back to DelTondo's home. So they had been there for about an hour. And they got back to her home at 10:44, and the friend would be, oh man, my brain is failing me. That's a second. Lauren again. I keep getting the guy, there's so many individuals involved, it gets kind of nutty. Unless you've gone over it 1,000 times, then you remember everybody. Lauren, yeah. So 10:44, Lauren drops her off. And then just a few minutes later, neighbors heard a bunch of gunshots, and Rachel was shot 10 times in the chest, which, yes, that does sound like a killing of passion. And you kind of think like, it sounded like Sheldon was a little bit paranoid, you know, like, where are you? Well, you shouldn't still be there. It's closed. Well, it's not ice cream. It's frozen, what did I say, custard? Yeah, so maybe it's a specialty that they just love so much. Oh yeah, it's Frank's Frozen. I don't think he did. There's a lot of Franks in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she was a teacher. I actually have the location where she worked too on here, I think. Oh boy, my stomach just went. Ugh. Yeah, maybe I lost it. Oh, is this it? Yeah. Pennsylvania Cyber Charter School, right here. She worked here, and she was suspended from working there. And she was suspended after somebody anonymously leaked a police report that was never intended to be made public, and the information in the report wasn't meant to be made public either. maybe I guess the specifics that were in the report. I mean, I think it's all public record but maybe not the teen's name. But it had all of her information, like Rachel's driver's license, social security number, all that information was in there. Yeah. But don't you find it's really strange that the police sergeant is one of the people who found Rachel and Sheldon in the car, and there was another police officer, and one of those police officers apparently was going to take in Sheldon as well. And then all of a sudden, Rachel's friends with the police sergeant's daughter, and they're going out. This is just wild. It's like you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's almost too complicated to make a video about. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, let's start making this graph, okay? Okay, so here's Rachel. So now let's bring in some other people here. Let's get Sheldon, all right? So here's the guy she was in the car with. All right, right there. Put Sheldon right below it. Yep, got that. And let's see, I'll put this one out here. This is the daughter. I don't have her any information. I mean, I don't have her image of her. The daughter of the police. But that's sort of a different deal. I'll just put these all out here for now. Yeah, so I'm just trying to put all this stuff together here in like a chart, and then maybe it'll start making some sense. Does anybody know what the police sergeant's wife did for work? Somebody said she was in some kind of like investigative, but I need proof of that. You know, I can't just go, oh yeah, she was. And her name is Stephanie Watkins. What does that mean? They both was in the same department. Yeah, no problem. I need to get it to put it all together so I can actually tell the story in a video. Because at this point, it's so all over the place. It's like, a barrel of jelly beans. Just you put your hand in. Oh, look at this. Oh, and then the next time there's a whole bunch of other jelly beans. No, you don't need to know that, Marissa. You're getting stuck on something that's absolutely irrelevant. All right. Jesus. Man, that's what bogs down cases, man, when people start getting into that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. So we've got Rachael DelTondo, Sheldon, and this is Sheldon's mom. Maybe I should put the... Let's see. Let's do it like this. Rachel's just in the middle of everything. And this is going to be Tyree right there. And this guy is Rashawn Bolton. He's 32. I don't think he has anything to do with anything. But again, it's like, what if he found out that Rachael DelTondo was doing something with his brother or vice versa? It's just... I don't know, but why would you kill her, I don't know. All right. I think we're getting somewhere now. Oops. Sorry, I'm not talking much. I'm trying to think here, though. Let me check. I gotta check something. Okay. If anybody has a picture of Tyree, that'd be great. I don't have one, though. I think I have a picture of Stephanie and Lauren, but I don't have any idea how involved or anything. I just know that all these people are involved currently with Rachael. I know Stephanie is her friend, but I think she's only 17, so I'm not putting it out there. That's what I'm saying. Why would you? I don't know why you would kill her. I could see a guy killing her if they were jealous. That happens all the time. Yeah, there you go. That's what Southwest T-Berry, however you pronounce that. Can you guys come up with YouTube names that people can actually understand? Just one time. Or say. It'd be great. I mean, you got these ones that are like a paragraph, It's like, hey, Joe was walking down the street with in a merry month of May. What do you think about the, I think this is pretty much the main... Oh, wait. I don't have... I don't have Frank up there. Hold on. That's important. And Frank. Here you go. Okay, I think we can start drawing something now. Oh, I guess I did. Let me change this one here. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the mother right here. Sorry if you hear any noise, my wife's moving around. Yeah. All right. Does that look good? Do you guys think I'm missing anybody that needs to be on there at this point? What do you think? Do I need to add anybody? So we're doing the real kind of stuff here. This isn't like, oh, hey, let's just start throwing it out. This is how you can make sense of something when it's difficult. I did the same thing in the Kendra Hatcher case, and when you try to explain it to people, it gets confusing, but if you can visualize it, it makes it a lot easier. All right, let me put Frank over here. Ah. Oh, and it's actually Hank's frozen custard, right? It's not. Is it Frank's? Man, now I can't even remember. Yeah, I have Hank's. Well, maybe the side of the building said Frank's, but let me see. Could we have just wasted all that time? Wait a minute. Yeah, it's Hank's. Yeah. So what does anybody in the chat have the full name of the the fiance? I have it written down somewhere, but I can't find it, and I just want to grab it and paste it. Right. So I was wondering why someone said, "Is it Frank's or Hank's?" Look at it. It's just Hank's frozen custard, and Frank rhymes with Hank. Email what to me? Okay, there you go. Thanks. See, right now I'm copying that. Cindy Cyber Angel. Another one of those long names that's hard to just rattle it off. Although I just did, so I'm very proud of myself. Alright, here we go. Frank Trappa. Probably Tropa. All right, let's do this. Here we go. Sheldon Jeter Jr. And what we'll do is, I think what I'll do is I'll make this yellow for the car. Okay, well, what was the other officer that showed up? I'm going to put him on this page too. Anybody have that? I know it was in one of the articles I just read. Let me see if I can find it. No, there, I had Frank down here. Did you get that? Anybody have that other name of the other officer? Yeah, Frank. I don't think Frank has anything to do with anything. What's the name of the other officer that was there? Frank ended the relationship a long time before this, and he's also dating somebody else. I don't think Frank has anything to do with it. The whole Frank angle, you know. I mean, it's just a piece to have, but I don't think he has anything to do with it. That's my opinion. Yeah, I think that's the last person for that. So what we can do is make like a, I think what we'll do is different eras for different events. And then let me get some other art in here. I'll go find something like a heart. Like supposedly they're dating right now, or were dating. It's hard to date, you know, if something happens to you. All right, let's see. Right there. Oh, jeez. That's big. That was a pretty big one. All right. Well, tell your husband happy birthday from a YouTube Live, Tracy. Yeah, I guess just who cares about Frank? Maybe we can not focus on Frank. I don't think he has a, I mean, you know, I don't see a motive on his part. He's already got a girlfriend. He's not really, you know, they dated for 8 years. He probably just was like, oh, jeez. Probably got tired of all the drama. He probably even heard about his crap, so he got the hell out of Dodge. This one right here, this is the mother. Maybe I should put that in the Sheldon's mother. There you go. I'll put that there. This will be oldest brother of Sheldon. course, now it takes up too much space. Ah, God. This is frustrating now. So I think Tyree was the middle child. He's 25. I'll put that in there. $25 and Sheldon's 20. There we go. I think anybody with a brain would get a lawyer to talk to the police of any kind ever at this point. I don't even care. Well, God, if you have nothing to hide, listen, even if you have nothing to hide, get a lawyer to be with you if you're talking to the police. Every single time. Never talk to the police. You know, I would say if you're one of the people that could possibly be considered a suspect, you know, like a, you know, if you're just some innocent bystander witnessing something, sure, you know, you get the but like if you're a ex-boyfriend or somebody that's associated, just get a lawyer and do not speak to the police. Okay, I hate to say that, but man, I've seen so much crap out there where they start, you know, they can't find anybody, so they start making you the killer, basically. Oh, and they start putting in all this. Oh, do you see the way they said that? Oh, look how they look on camera. Oh my God, they must be the killer. Do you see how they look at it? Just don't do it. So Frank is being a smart human. It doesn't make him look any guiltier or, you know, anything. It makes him look like a smart human. Now, I think it sounded like Rachel and Sheldon were on and off again. So apparently we can sort of put this in here, you know, like a little mini heart, perhaps. You know, because they definitely had a romantic relationship. Did anybody get that police officer's name? The one that was... It was in one of the articles I was reading earlier. On Facebook? All right, let me go look. Two pictures of what? This is Tyree right here. I found that picture when I was looking. It didn't prove to me that was him though. Are you sure that's him? Like I went to that Facebook page and there was like nothing on it whatsoever. But you're saying that's Tyree right there, right? Are you sure about that? I don't want to put somebody's picture that I'm not sure of. Are you? There you go. Thank you. Officer Crankle. Or Conkle. Crankle. Wait, is that Francis? Are you sure that's not Frank? The only problem is it doesn't seem right to have him so close to her. I don't know if that, I'm just going to put him over here. He's not really, not that we're aware of anyway. There must be something I have to do, like move to the top, something like that. There we go. All right, coming back to the chat for a second. Yeah, what's up, Miss Sweet Bee? Okay, all righty. Francis Conkle. So another Frank. But Stephanie, are you sure that that's him, right? Oh, not by knowing it. All right, I'm not going to put that picture there then. Okay, we got 2 Franks and a Hank. That has to be it, man. Hey, Jan. All right, so we got Sheldon and Jeter, and we'll make the green here stand for the car incident. All right, so here we go. Well, it's more like they communicated with her. Okay, like this. Apparently. Maybe it's a yellow. It's hard to tell. Thank you. I'll take compliments. I know this kind of stuff right here is probably boring for people who like the instant gratification, but I'm just trying to figure out the how this is all working here. So apparently she wasn't that good of a mom for Sheldon, and one of these 2 police officers was actually going to take in Sheldon. To get him off, give him a better chance in life. All right, so we're gonna make these. Let's switch that back. Yeah. So the green right there is that little family, the Watkins family. Sergeant Watkins. I got to put his name in there. Kenneth, I think, is what his name was. All right, so we've got Kenneth Watkins, Stephanie Watkins, and Lauren Watkins. So we have this incident with the green arrows. That's when the car incident happened. Maybe we can do like a shape like this. Maybe make a little legend over here. Maybe we can fill that with that same color. Does that work? Yeah, there we go. So we'll have that. And we'll put like inside. Can we put text inside of that? Let me see if I do that. Can I? Okay. Let's see. Steamy car. Alright. So the yellow is the steamy car incident. Although I'm going to change that to maybe a black. That. Yeah, it'd be cool to know what that was, Audra. I have no idea what her role is. Like, how did she get into that? Was it from knowing Kenneth Watkins? Is that why she became an informant? Like, hey, we could really use you. Or did somebody contact her because she knows Kenneth Watkins? And in that case, Stephanie Watkins might be somebody who's trying to protect her husband and their family's reputation. And therefore, that's why the police checked out her Facebook page as well. Everybody in the Watkins family probably had access to a 9mm. All right? Not saying that they did anything, just saying. Yeah, and then, there's a part in there. I did copy that into my notes. Let's see, where is that? Did I read that at the beginning? I can't remember now. About testifying. Oh yeah, like here's a note that I have right here. CBS News reports Sheldon Jeter's attorney, Michael Santacola, interviews with reporter Andy Sheehan, saying his client had nothing to do with DelTondo's murder and had no animosity towards her and no motive to kill her. Instead, Santacola says that his client believes DelTondo was going to testify before a grand jury about corruption and was uneasy about it. And I also read that where she actually told Sheldon that she was doing that she was undercover, I guess, or an informant. I don't know if you call it undercover, but does anybody actually have, I don't even know if it's that important, but it'd be kind of neat to know when Frank and Rachel actually did call off the wedding. Because I like to have the accurate information, even on some of the mundane facts. Why were you looking at whose Facebook page? Rachel's? Like you just randomly happen to be looking at her page? Oh, you're saying... So Rachel's page is still open to the public? Really? Is that where'd you get that information, fan? That makes more sense to me, but what a weird day. Hey, let's get, call off our engagement on Valentine's Day. So that happened 8 days after she was busted in the car. See, that makes a lot of sense, actually. All right, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna write that in the notes. I don't know where you got that from. Where did you get that from, though? M fan. Okay, they have. Can you put that link on here for me? The timeline that they have. That makes way more sense, I have to say. It's weird how when people write articles, they don't question things. You know, because I'm telling you, 2 or 3 articles say that on February 2nd, 2017, DelTondo went on a TV show to figure out how to get her money back for the dress. Then they said in October 2017, they called off their wedding. Really? That didn't make you go, wait, that doesn't make sense. They called their wedding off 8 months after she was selling the dress? But let's just write it anyways. You know, it drives me nuts. All right, so I'm actually going to move that over in my notes. I just removed number 3. And I'll put it up here. We'll just say February 14th, 2016. That makes more sense. And look at that. It's even 8 days after. So we'll make that 2. This will be 3 now. So I'm trying to put it all together here. Trying to get it all together so I can actually make a video on this case. Yeah, thanks a lot. That's good stuff there. Hey, let me get that one. I'm going to have to save that timeline. Oh, there we go. Oh, they put this out today. All right. Man, if I had found it, I wouldn't have had to do a live. Just kidding, just kidding. Well, kind of. Timeline. Yeah. Who said they deserved it? That she deserved it? Crime fighters. Yep. I guess so. Yeah, I don't think anybody... I mean, anybody that says... Look, it's sort of like in the Jodi Arias case, right? People say, well, Travis deserved it. No, they didn't. No, he didn't. Look, when people are younger and they're not really sure, you know, people... I would say almost every guy has had a bunch of... You know, sometimes they're dating, if they're not really serious about somebody, they're dating more than one person, and they, you know, kind of a player type, you know. The difference is he ran into a barbarian, and that was Jodi Arias, a freak. All right? Yes, everybody gets angry and all that, but people don't, you know, almost cut somebody's head off. unless something's wrong with you. All right, let me do this. Jody Arias, the Barbarian. Well, how can you say that, Craig? Maybe it was just her own. No, listen. Yeah. It's weird when I've put my dogs down, like I actually feel a relief for them, you know, like, because I always kept them alive too long, you know, like just and I never you know, I felt bad for them, you know, like I missed them, but I never really like cried or anything, you know, and I think it's because, you know, I had a brother that died. And it's like it was so much less of pain, you know. It was like, you know, it kind of numbed me for the smaller things, you know. Like I do. What's weird about my new dog Blue, I feel differently about him. He's like a human that got stuck in a dog's body. So yeah, I miss him. I mean, you know, I was. Like, one of my dogs lived to be 17, so I didn't miss the last 2 years where she basically, you know, she still looked like she was enjoying life a little bit, but she'd pee on her mattress every single night, so I had to, like, clean it out. And she was on heart medicine, and, yeah, it sucked. And one of my dogs died getting its teeth cleaned. So sometimes I put off getting my dog's teeth cleaned. Yeah. All right, so back to this. So these guys, let's see. But the green arrows will be for family, all right? Yeah, I'm different. I put pets and things on a different level. You know, I care about them, but it's not the same. All right, let's see. Let's get back to what we're doing now. Okay. Man, I don't even know if I'm spelling family right. That's wild. Okay, good. Jesus. Alright, so now we can put an arrow right here. I'm trying to read what you guys are writing. What did you get justice for? It's too hard to keep up with that stuff. Like, you got justice for a... I don't get it. Man. No, I'll just quit reading again. That's right, I always forget. People saying, hey, Gray, you're reading the chat? And then I say, no. And they go, well, why aren't you reading it? And then when I read it, I get confused at what everybody's saying. That sucks. Yeah. It's always good to get justice. Alright, now I'm going to make an arrow for the people that were in the car that day. So we'll go like this. These people were friends. And these people were friends. Maybe make that one magenta. Problem is, when people say justice, I immediately think of the Kenneth Jenkins case where people say, we got to get justice. We got to get justice. And it's like, well, justice is the truth, right? Well, no, justice means that we get some sort of payback, even if, it's like, no, listen. I think of justice is the truth coming out. That's it. There's no other explanation of what justice is. And then the appropriate punishment when the truth comes out. Yeah, good. Good stuff. Now, one thing we don't know is if Sheldon Jeter Jr. up here, which one of the officers, they wouldn't answer that question, actually. That's the thing, is they wouldn't answer that question. The police chief. Let's see. Yeah, Katropa said he was with his mother and the mother of his current girlfriend all day. So, heck, maybe they were even planning something for a wedding or something. I mean, why would you be hanging out with your girlfriend's mother? Unless there was something kind of serious like that. The one thing about Sheldon Jeter, though, is the police, he voluntarily gave them the clothing he was wearing that day. However, they found him on surveillance, and he wasn't wearing the same clothes that he gave them. So that makes him a little bit more suspicious at that point. It wasn't her student, though. I don't know. I think there's something a little off about her, to be honest with you, Kim. Yeah, sometimes the truth is, well, like even in the Kenneth Jenkins case, the truth is known already. Okay, it's really an obvious, simple story, but so many people out on social media turned it into something confusing. And then when I say I know what the truth is, this is it right here, and you tell it to them because it's right there, plain to see, they say you're not looking for justice. And I say, yes, I am, because the truth is justice. See, for them, the word justice means punishment to somebody regardless of the truth. They want somebody to pay for it. And I think, well, okay, justice might be in the form of a lawsuit or something. But even then, that's a little dicey in that case. Yeah, revenge, right. Yeah. I mean, you could make an argument that the punishment that our justice system gives out is revenge for society, in a way, you know. So what do you think about this so far? What about like this Rashawn Bolton was apparently her current boyfriend. He's the eldest of these three brothers right here. Sheldon was the one caught in the car with the windows steamed up at 1:52 in the morning on February 6, 2016. And then on this night, she's with the other brother. But, you know, then Lauren's there too. But apparently, Sheldon and Lauren, okay, I got to put that one in there. Sheldon and Lauren were involved romantically too, right? That's what I read in one article, that they weren't just buddies. So now in the car are two people Sheldon's been with and Tyree. And then he's getting upset that they're not, hey, how come you're still driving around when the Custard place has been closed for so long? Now, okay, I'll just use the same heart. Although, maybe I'll just use a regular heart. It doesn't matter if they were... There we go. It just represents romance at some point. So have you guys heard that too? That Lauren was involved with Sheldon as well? Because I read that in an article. That the police believe that they were too. Okay, good. Yeah, look at the web we've got up here now. I mean, doesn't it, see this, when you look at this, it's nuts, right? Okay, now what did I have for this color here? Lauren and, oh yeah, this was the car incident, all right. I mean, the trip, excuse me. I will just call it Trip to Hanks. How about that? Where's that color? This thing's looking pretty nutty right now. Look at this. Ah. And the yellow was, yeah, so the steamy car incident. So at this point it was a one-way, these were communicating with Rachel. They didn't have a relationship at the time, but I think now they they know each other, apparently. So, but looking at this, you can tell the story, all right? So you can say, listen, Rachael DelTondo, I should put like dates over here too, but maybe I'll do that all later. Rachael DelTondo was caught in a car with Sheldon Jeter Jr. on February 6, 2016. Steamed up windows. The police talked to her, sort of, and they both had an excuse saying, oh, we were just talking. There was no evidence that they were doing anything, so the police let them go. All right, there's no evidence, and the police let them go. They said, well, I hope we don't see you again sitting out in the car late at night. Then after that, the police didn't write a report up, and life goes on. And then eventually, Rachael started dating the older brother of Rashawn And then 8 days after the car incident, where they were caught in the car, Frank Katropa and her called off the engagement. And then February 2017, literally, let's see. So she waited a whole year to try to get her money back for the dress? Are you sure it was Valentine's? That doesn't make sense. Did she say Valentine's Day? I gotta go look at that article. I don't see that in here. I thought you guys said in the article it said, I don't see it. February 6th, 2016, and then jumps right over to here. Yeah, I know. I actually watched the whole video on the dress. The dress thing is actually absolutely irrelevant to the case, other than the time that they called off the wedding should be prior to that. All right, so let me just see. I'm trying to find where it says engagement. Okay, the couple were engaged during the trip to Paris in June 2015. Wedding plans informally came to an end. Informally came to an end in October 2015. Their engagement was formally ended Valentine's Day 2016, when Rachael returned her ring to Frank. Well, does that make any sense? I guess it does kind of make sense, since that was 8 days after the car incident. But then why did she wait a year? Okay, so it just took a while to do they were just probably haggling back and forth, and they finally enlisted the help of that TV show to get the dress. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Now it's good. It's good to actually have that. All right, so Rachael and Sheldon were caught in a car. Then they were let go. No report was filed. Then 8 days later, Rachael and Frank, who she mentioned to the police as being her fiance, called off the wedding. She gave back Frank the ring, which every woman should do if you're calling off a wedding. It doesn't matter which party does it either. Okay, let's see. So they called it off, and the police never filed a police report. And then February 2017, Rachael, that's when she was on the TV show, Actually, if you guys want to see that, I actually have a clip of that. Let's see. Yeah, right here.
Workout, leaving the bride stuck in. That is what a woman from Aliquippa and her family say happened to them.
Yeah, this story really a cautionary tale for other brides. When they couldn't figure out a way out of this situation, they decided to get Marty.
You need a butter knife? Yes, please.
The DelTondo family can be best described as old school Italian.
There she is, right
believing in
there.
Only the best.
Okay, I think I want the cheese.
So when Rachel got engaged, Mom took over planning a big-time wedding.
Mom took
including a
over.
nearly $10,000
I can
gown
just see it.
to be handmade by a New York designer.
It was a custom dress. It had to be made to her measurements.
The family put down a deposit of more than $4,000. That, according to the contract,
She should have been on one of those shows.
non-refundable and non-transferable under any circumstances. Lisa DelTondo says she got that from day one.
I was told that this is binding.
Wedding gown shopping tip number 1. Remember the saying, if you break
Yeah,
it, you
I didn't
bought
think she
it?
was that
Well,
pretty,
most
to be honest
stores
with you.
won't give you a refund for a
Maybe
custom
it's just not my
dress
type.
after they've placed your order.
I knew what this thing said.
They bought the dress here at Ann Gregory for the bride in Dormont. Rachel DelTondo was measured. The family put down nearly half. Wedding dress tip number 2. When you buy a custom gown, you'll have to sign a contract.
What a waste of money,
and you'll
huh?
have to put down a
Jesus.
deposit, which varies, but can be 60% of the price of the gown.
It's made to order. Sure. And there's no exchanges and blah, 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 no refunds. I understood that.
4 months after the contract was signed, the wedding was called off. Lisa DelTondo called the New York designer to see if they had started on the dress and asked for a refund.
I called New York. I did. Yeah. He told me it couldn't be done.
DelTondo says she told the local bridal salon she'd pay the balance.
Yeah.
And
How come
take
she doesn't
delivery of
talk
the
at
dress.
all?
I wanted the gown so I could sell it.
DelTondo
You
says the
could sell it?
salon never delivered the dress and refused to refund her money, so she took the owner to small claims court.
And it says disposition default judgment for plaintiff.
Court papers indicate the salon owner did not appear for the hearing.
Yeah, you know-
As a result, he was ordered to pay the DelTondos more than $4,600.
He had 30 days to
All right, yeah,
write
anyways,
us a check
they got her money
or
back
file
and
an
all
appeal.
And he did not.
He helped out. Yeah, so you know what's cool about my wife? We spent like $400 on her dress, and then she sewed in all these other parts to make it the way she wanted it to be that way. All right? She didn't need to hire, $8,000. What a joke. Really? You can buy half of a car with that. I don't know. I just thought that they were boyfriend, girlfriend, M fan. I don't know anything about that. Mod cloth. Yeah. Yeah, but look at all the stuff that Rachel is in between all these different people associated. Trip to Hanks. You guys should screenshot the. Can you guys see the entire chart? Maybe not all of it. Let's see. I'll move it down a little bit. There you go. You can do a screen grab. Grab it. Have your chart. Yep. Seemed like one of those classic. Have you ever watched those shows? Sometimes my wife used to watch them, but the wedding dress ones where I don't know, they have something like designers, and it's just I can't stand watching those shows. I don't see how anybody watches those with any sort of pleasure of any kind. Like, oh wow, look at that, yeah. It makes your head spin, but if you just kind of look at it, it makes sense, right? I can tell you the story. Oh, look at that. The green is the family, right? Down in the lower left. So anytime you see green, that means these people are related. And maybe I should put daughter over here on this one. Yeah, who cares? I would rather take the money that people want to spend on a wedding and buy something really useful with it. You know, these dumbass weddings that cost $50,000. Well, hey, tell you what. We'll go to the Justice of the Peace. You send me, give us each 25 and we'll buy a car with that. Thank you. You know, I don't need all this stuff. What was kind of cool is we got married at my parents' property that they have, and you know, it didn't cost us hardly anything. Like, all of our relatives came, helped do everything. My wife made the cake for it, made basically her whole dress. You know, it's cheap, but it was great. Like, everybody loved it. Yeah, because they're all pretentious and stuff, those weddings. Well, Gray, what do you mean they're idiots? I mean, maybe they... No, listen. If you ever spend anywhere near that kind of money on a wedding, there's something wrong with you, all right? Gatorade? I'm just kidding. Costco liquor bill. See? That's the way it should be right there. Perfect. All right, so I think I've got all I need. Let's see. What do we have for the... I know that they've have warrants now on 4 different people, I think, for information on Stephanie Watkins, Lauren Watkins, Rachael DelTondo, and Sheldon Jeter's Facebook and social media and cell phone information. It's interesting, the choice of the people, right? I wonder if Tyree, sort of the unknown person that we never really hear about, has something to do with it. You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, Tyree's just... Really? But he was with Lauren in the car. They dropped Rachael off, then they went off. And by the way, how long... Okay, so they dropped Rachael off. How long does it take to walk into a house? Didn't the friends hear all the gunshots? Like Lauren and Tyree in the car? How come they didn't hear gunfire? Oh, let me guess. They were blaring music. So they drop her off, and they drive one of these probably this direction right here. And then, although they picked up Tyree, I guess, downtown. Hey, M Fan, you sound like the on Jaws. Remember the movie Jaws, when he said, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." Oh, my dog's growling. You're probably going to hear a bark here in a second. Blue, calm down. Calm down, buddy. Yeah, I've only got about 10 minutes on here. If you go over 2 hours, YouTube really messes with your video. Eventually they fix it after 3 days. But what happens is this. If you have a video that's 2 hours and anything over 2 hours, so let's just say 2 hours and 10 minutes, they put the chat portion over to that we're looking at here in its correct order, but then truncate the video, cutting off the first 10 minutes so that none of the chat actually matches the video. And then a couple days later they get it all in there and then it works. But you know, most people watch a video the first couple days and then they're like totally confused trying to read the chat with the video. So does anybody have any information that they think must make it into a video, but they haven't heard me mention it? It doesn't say we need to go back and get a bigger boat. That's too much. I could actually put the video up, but it doesn't say that. A radio? No. Yeah. I like YouTube better, man. Yeah, what case? Please don't say one of the ones everybody hears of all the time. What's not today? I'm seeing something that says, not today. Sorry, Gray. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Had the brother boyfriend already left? Had the brother boyfriend already left the time of shooting? Left where? She was just dropped off at her parents' house. Rachel was. I don't know where Rashawn was. I have no clue where he was. Yep. My wife's old school. She's from the Philippines. I met her like I don't know. God, what was it? 2010. And I was like, wow. Like it's weird how women, you know, I'm not saying all women, but it's not the same anymore, you know. Like used to be different. Like there'd be homemakers, and then there'd be the like my wife works, and then she likes to do yard work and stuff like that. I hate doing yard work, but she likes doing that. She makes some really cool stuff out there. But yeah, it's different now. Everyone's like selfish, more selfish, and you know, kind of greedy. Let's see. What case? If Travis' bullet came first, why did medical examiners say it didn't clot like a beating? He didn't say that sentence right there. I'll tell you what he did say, though. He said that the medical examiner in that case said that, I think I said right here, that it wouldn't have been immediately incapacitating. He also said that the dura mater was intact, a film that goes around the brain that had no bullet hole, nothing wrong with it. He said that the brain is still symmetrical, and he said that there was no track in the brain, although the observation of it is somewhat limited due to decomposition, using the word somewhat limited. Then at trial he said, that was what he said on the autopsy. Then at trial he said that At this point, the brain is liquid. You can't even examine it. And then the defense attorney said, what do you mean you can't even examine it? You did serial cross-sections. And then he goes, oh, okay, hold on. Then he thumbs through the autopsy and then says, oh, okay, so it isn't liquid at this point, it's softened. Well, then why did you say that before? You were trying to sell a narrative that wasn't true. They're full of crap, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, I believe, the whole thing that she murdered him, she planned it, did all that stuff. The gunshot was first, 100%. No doubt about it. LMQXY, yeah. Yeah, the ME, I think the medical examiner lied with the, sadly, the lead detective with the prosecutor to switch from, okay, look, in the Jodi Arias case, the prosecutor and the whole prosecution believed that the gunshot was first, all the way up 14 months after the autopsy and everything. They believed that the gunshot was first. But then Jodi switched to self-defense, and in her theory, the gunshot was first. So then Juan Martinez, Flores, and all of them said, whoa. We can't even give her that, because if you give her that part of it. So then they switched it to knife first, and then they had to do all this crazy gymnastics. But all these adoring fans of theirs believe everything that they say and don't really give a damn about how it all came forward. All right? And I've gone over this so many times, it gets so frustrating. Well, what about the bullet shell that was on top of a little piece of blood? Well, a lot of stuff was going on in that room. Is it possible it was on the floor and it was just kicked during all of that commotion and it bounced and rolled on top of it? Where the blood spatter, quote, expert, who also I think was, the only thing she was sure about was that the gunshot was last because the bullet casing was on top of some blood. What a joke. So there you have it on that one. Got it all figured out. Most people believe the gunshot was first now. I remember when I was during the case, I was an outcast merely for believing that, even though I still believe she was guilty. It was like, oh God, how could you possibly disagree with the prosecutors who they're without question above reproach? Well, because they believed that the gunshot was first too. As a matter of fact, they were even on a TV show saying it. We believe the gunshot was first. That's what Flores said on a 48 Hours special. And then Kevin Horn says, I don't remember ever speaking to Flores about the case. Who is he? Really? You mean like the main case that of your life? You don't remember ever speaking to the lead detective? And then the lead detective said, yeah, I wasn't inaccurate. I was just mistaken. Well, wait, don't those mean the same thing? Like if you're making a mistake, you're inaccurate? Yeah. And see, he said that because he had an internal conflict. He knows he was not mistaken. And he knows he wasn't inaccurate. And he knows he wasn't mistaken. So now he has to say he's mistaken, and then he got confused in his own brain because he knows he's being accurate. Yeah, I know. I've made 100 videos on all that stuff. The stabbing and stuff didn't come until later, though. Like Travis was in the shower. He got shot in the head. I think, this is what I think. I think that he was shot in the head. He was shot in the head, and I think Jody was there to make it look like a suicide. She did all the planning to make it look like she wasn't there. She shot him tried to shoot him in the side of the head, but it was kind of above the right eye. It went in, and it didn't kill him, but she probably only put one bullet in the gun. Because, you know, people who commit suicide don't put 2 bullets in. You're not pulling a second time. So she put one bullet in and fired. But then she saw Travis moving around, and she panicked, and she started kicking and, you know, hitting him and stuff. And that's how you get some spatter down by the toilet low. He's crawling on his knees. Then he starts getting up, and then she starts panicking. He's not dying. He's not. So she runs and gets the knife from the kitchen, which literally is only a 10 to 15 second run. Comes back with the knife. At that point, he's standing at the sink looking at his wounds. He turns to defend himself. He's totally disoriented. And she just starts going to town. That's when the stab to the vena cava happened and all that. Then they start going down the hallway and fighting. She gets on his back, stabs him a bunch of times while he's trying to crawl away. Maybe he turns over there. She stabs him again. He's bleeding. He tries to get up, falls down again, creating that swoosh area. Then she gets on his back again, pulls his head back, and then slits his throat with the knife as his head is right over near the carpet area there. And it drains out. And later on, she drags him back to the shower. Okay? That's my quick and easy story. That was what happened. Makes a hell of a lot more sense than, oh, he was looking up at her as she cut his throat. Right, with a really loose, you know. So he did it blindly. That's why the cut is right under the chin and cuts all the skin to get back there instead of being lower underneath the, yeah. Yeah, I already know all that, Betty. Go watch my videos. Got it. All right. So I think that's about it for everybody, and I've got a little flow chart here to work with. I appreciate everybody showing up and contributing. If you see anything else that comes forward, make sure you email me at right there. Right? We got 1 more minute left. Yeah, a little bit live. I got an early live tonight. Maybe it helps out when I give the notification video, like put out a little video saying, hey, we're doing one tonight. A little quick one, you know. Maybe I can even give a short synopsis in the warning video, then do it. That's okay. Being convicted of rape is allowed to serve sentence. Okay, I don't know what. Yeah, cool. So, if you want, you can just screen print off the chart, and you know, if people find other things they need to add to it, there is an unknown person a friend that they stopped off of after going to the Circle K. All right, everybody. Yeah, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. I've noticed my subscriptions went down 1 again. They always do every time I go live. And until next time, everybody, I will talk to you later.